Please be advised, enter your panel at your own risk. We are not electricians, we like to save money and do it ourselves. Here are some things you'll need: a service port adapter, vacuum gauges, conduit strap, conduit, and electrical wire. Breaker size varies depending on unit size being installed. This unit requires a 15 amp 240 volt breaker, a half-inch nylon liquid tight fitting, and a flathead. First things first, grab your flathead and knock out the circle piece for the new wiring inside your breaker box. Grab a half-inch nylon liquid tight fitting and screw it into the breaker box hole. Grab the wire, lube it up, and slide it into the conduit all the way through. Once you have the wire pulled into the conduit, pull it through the nylon fitting into the breaker box. Don't forget, once it's pulled through, to leave excess wiring to strip it down on both ends of the wire later. Don't risk your fingers and use a safer tool doing this. Now time to mount this conduit. Using a drill, some screws, and the nylon liquid tight fitting which I showed you earlier in the video. Measure, mount, and cut off any excess conduit and wire that won't be needed. Connect the conduit to the unit and make sure to secure it tightly. After stripping down the wires, connect them according to your mini split panel. It's color coordinated and labeled as L1, L2, and S for ground. Connect the other wires as instructed from the condenser unit outside and color coordinate them as well. After the mini wires are hooked up to the mini split, it's time to connect the wires in the panel to the breaker. This is a very important part to wear safety gloves and safety glasses because it is dangerous. Here we also indicated that both wires are hot, which is why we used black tape on the white one so it can be recognized. Here to insert the wire, we used a screwdriver and made room by turning the screwdriver to the left, just enough to enter the wire back. The most important part here is making sure that the breaker box is off before returning it back to the breaker. Using work gloves, clip in the newly wired breaker box into the live panel, being extra careful. Measure out and level where the unit will be mounted. Drill a hole to make space for the wiring from the inside unit. Using molly screws, a drill, screws, install the mount. Make measurements and install the same size hole on the outside of the wall. Now that the indoor air handler is mounted, it's time to connect it to the outdoor handler. Connect the copper tubing while being careful not to crimp it. The control wire, refrigerant line, and drain tubing was taped together beforehand to make a smoother installation through the wall. Install your service port adapter to the outdoor unit by attaching the blue line to the service port and the gauges, then the yellow line to the vacuum pump, and let it run for 15 minutes. Once it's finished and no leaks have been detected, open the valves and let the Freon run through the system. Now you can remove the gauges from the service port and then remove the service port from the unit. Close everything back up, grab your remote, and test out your new DELLA mini split system.